to go when you try to be a weekend warrior and end up being on the injury list yourself. Delaware Orthopedic Specialists, locations all throughout the first state. They are the only fellowship-trained surgery center here in the state of Delaware. So really, why would you trust anyone other than a specialist? You hear his expertise here on the pod. Now let his expertise at the table and all of the providers there work wonders on whatever injury or illness you have. Head on over to delortho.com or give him a call, 302-655-9494. Don't trust anyone other than a specialist.
Welcome to Talking 215, your go-to podcast for everything you need to know about Philly sports. Whether you bleed green, trust the process, fly with the Flyers, or fight with the Fightins, this is the place where we break down Broad Street. Jake, Sean, and Joey deep dive into the heart of Philly sports culture, breaking down games, roster moves, and sharing the stories that make the 215 truly legendary. So grab a cheesesteak, settle in, and let's get to Talking 215. Now here's your host, Jake Biasado.
If your team ain't 2-0, don't talk to me. We got the coach, we got the dog, we got the doc, all in-house. Gentlemen, might not have been the prettiest 2 weeks, but we're 2-0 in the NFL. Haven't even caught our stride yet. How we doing?
Undefeated, baby. Undefeated. You guys can still talk to us. That's just more for the non-Eagles fans. Don't speak to us if you're not 2-0.
Yeah, I ain't going to listen. That's for damn sure. Chris, I, too, love the push. Oh, no. Chris, you're muted. Oh, no.
There we go.
There we go. Chest pat moment. Chest pat. That's on me. That's on him.
Hand up. Chest pat. Yeah, I too love the tush push. It felt like it needed to be the message of the episode here. This past week, everybody been on it. So
no, very strange. Not even strange. Expected reaction. I love the tweets you've been putting out. Philly Dogs on Twitter. If you want to check him out, he's been tweeting. He's just been doing the Lord's work, just getting down in the dirt and just pushing that tush across the end zone line, as we all do. Doc, we're gonna pick your brain a fair amount this week. We got some weird injuries and such to talk to you about. I mean, I guess I'll just dive right in. Dallas Goedert, hearing a lot more about this now. Not even a specific diagnosis, but it sounds like in the third quarter, week 1, took a weird shot to the knee, told the trainers, hey, just give me a brace, finished out the game. And then apparently all week he was pressing them like, no, let me play. And they held him out, obviously, of all week of practice and then in the game. Is this something that he was limited today, so that should be an indicator that he's going to be good to go week 3?
Yeah, I think he was he a full practice today?
Mm-hmm.
I thought
he was full. Okay, I must have been looking.
I thought he was. So
I was on the red eye last night coming in. So
yeah, I think
a little fatigued.
I think there's certain criteria, and it's one of them is the players. Player kind of sets the tone, but I mean, I think there's certain criteria that the players have to meet in order for them to have him practice. And I'm sure he was dealing with maybe some swelling, or maybe some soreness, or maybe some loss of motion, but they wanted to hold him out, which is smart until he's close to 100%. So I fully expect him to be playing on Sunday, especially since he was full practice. So,
I mean,
I don't know how long or to what extent, but I expect him to at least give it a go.
I'm also going to need all three of you to do a chest pat. He was limited. I was right. You were wrong. He was limited today.
So, Doc, I got a question for you with Goddard. So I was listening to Inside the Birds podcast, and they mentioned because it rained today, the Eagles practice indoors, and the indoor facility has turf, which is pretty hard. And they said typically if you have an injury like a knee injury, you're not letting anybody in there to practice on that because it's a harder surface. Would that give you a little bit more optimism that he's going to play because having a knee injury and he's on a hard impact surface like that?
Yeah, I mean, and plus it's different from what he's going to be playing on Sunday. So, yeah, turf's always been harder, and especially if you're just coming off an injury, why risk it on the last day of practice? So that may be the limited practice we're discussing. So, yeah, I would hold him back from getting tackled or landing on that turf if I could.
And then, Doc, sticking with the injuries, Will Shipley limited at practice. We had heard a lot of reports that he had cracked a rib, 8 to 10 week expected out time, gonna hit the IR. Seeing him on the limited practice list today is that's obviously going to change some things. And it says oblique, not rib.
Yeah, I saw that too. It said oblique strain. I know maybe they overdiagnosed the rib fracture and maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But usually when they say that, especially when they give something that specific, it's usually the case. But yeah, they said oblique. That shocked me too. I heard that and I was like, well, wait a minute. He had a rib fracture and that did not heal in 2 weeks. I can tell you that right now. If he has a fracture, he still does. But maybe it wasn't I don't know if it wasn't as bad as they thought, or they figured they could play him with protection, But oblique strain sounds a lot different than a rib fracture.
We've all had a piece of hair on our phone screens, and we think for a second that we cracked the screen. It could have just been a little hair on the X-ray.
Yeah.
Just you never know where those printers are, who's in there. But no, it's odd to see Will Shipley on the injury report showing that he practiced at some capacity when we're hearing, oh, he's out 6 to 10 weeks. We brought in this running back and we're just waiting to see what the corresponding move is because or we won't need to see a corresponding move because Will Shipley is just going to go to IR and that'll open up the roster spot and everything. And now he's practicing, and obviously if you're going to be practicing for a little bit of time, you're expecting that you're going to be playing here relatively soon. But anyway, we're 2-0. As I've said, haven't even hit our stride yet. Any concerns thus far about Kevin Patullo in the offense?
I think we're Eagles fans, right? Like we understand that the offense has looked lethargic. It's looked slow. Really, the times we're scoring is if Jalen is kind of putting on the cape, scrambling around off script and making plays, or your normal Saquon run, defense setting you up in good field position, stuff like that. So the offense has left a lot to be desired. Now, I will say the very first play of the game, and I'm not going to coulda, woulda, shoulda everybody to death here, could have been a walk-in A.J. Brown touchdown. If you guys saw the clips, I think a couple people were posting. Wish I could give credit and remember who did it, but might have been Johnny Page. But, the play design was perfect. Everything was perfect except for your favorite backup tight end that hasn't been able to block since Nam, misses his block and throws off the entire thing. So I think we looked at that first Dallas game and we came back on this podcast and said, the offensive line wasn't where we wanted it to be with a couple of things. They weren't really blocking the way we wanted to. Then you see the first play of the Chiefs game and you're like, if that's Goddard in there instead of Calcaterra, he's getting a pretty decent block on that guy. And we perhaps have a 60-yard play right out the gate, coulda, woulda, shoulda. But I think between Patullo's play calling and the execution of the players doing the little minor details like holding your block an extra half second, running that route an extra 1 yard, I just don't think it's married up yet. And the lack of preseason, new coordinator, everything that's been going on, I think it's a combination of both, not just Patullo.
Yeah. I think if you compare to last year, what were we bitching about? All the turnovers in the beginning of the year. So what do? We go way conservative in the beginning. And I think everything Coach mentioned is accurate. No preseason, no continuity with a new coordinator. You're going to go vanilla as long as you can. And I think that's what they're doing. Everybody bitched last year about how many turnovers Jalen had in the beginning of the season. Now he has none. So you guys are never happy.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'll echo what these two guys said, but what I'll add to it is someone I posted something on Twitter, Jake, maybe you saw it, but some guy commented and was like, you're not going to tell your kids about how the season has started for the Eagles. Like, this team is good, but it's not special. And I said, that's probably true, right? And you could probably say that I would say the same thing last year too, right? At the beginning of last year, it looked a little rough. The year before that also looked a little rough. But by the end of last season, I'm definitely telling my kids about the 2024 Philadelphia Eagles because it's the greatest team we have ever seen. Super Bowl champions, right? Better, I hold that higher or almost as high as our first Super Bowl. That team was so damn good.
They're one of the greatest teams to ever win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Absolutely. Hands down. So my point being is we've been here before. This is not our first rodeo. We know we get a slow start. Let things, to quote Aaron Rodgers, right? Just just relax a little bit. Like we sometimes we want them to come out firing all cylinders. I want that too, but let's calm it down. We know we've been here and we know where we can go. So
yeah.
Hold on.
No, it's tough, and I think you guys definitely calmed my storm a little bit, thinking about everything here and how, yeah, we didn't really get any chance to play against true opponents in the preseason. It's, we're going out there trying to play a little bit more conservative with the way we started last year. But man, the schedule makers didn't make it easy on us. I mean, week 1, sure, Dallas sucks. I mean, Dallas sucks, but it's week 1 in the NFL. It's your banner up. They're coming into town. They're your biggest rival. They want to do everything they can to spoil it for you. So it's a tough week, no matter what. No matter how you look at it, it's going to be a tough week. Week 2, you're heading right into, and it's not everybody, the Super Bowl rematch. No, it's week 2 in the NFL. Like, you can't call a Super Bowl rematch when there wasn't competition in the first place. I mean, we wiped that ass in the Super Bowl, so there wasn't even any competition in the first place. So it's week 2 in the NFL against a good team. Against a team that's never started 0-2 under the Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes era. Coach, I think you said, we're 3-0 against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in the last 3 games?
Last 3 games, 3-0 against Mahomes and the Chiefs. That's only ever happened one other time, and it was the Joe Burrow Bengals. But what we were talking about pre-show was none of those 3 wins in a row against Mahomes and the Chiefs, which has only happened twice ever, have been in Philadelphia. Not one of those games. You had a neutral site Super Bowl and 2 in Kansas City. So if you want to discredit any of our wins, I then go to data and statistics and say, show me another team that's done that. Yeah. Like when people talk about Jalen Hurts, I'm like, you rank all these other quarterbacks against him, but let's look at the records against Jalen Hurts. Like, we have the data. We have the numbers to back it up. So was it a pretty win? No. Do you not think beating a team 3 times in a row gets in the head of that other team? Just ask Chris Jones. I mean, that's all I got to say.
So my follow-up to that is, who then is Patrick Mahomes' daddy? Is it Jalen Hurts? Is it Nick Sirianni? Vic has won 2 of them, but he wasn't there on the first one. But the defense obviously stood out. They scored 0 points in the second half of the first game of this 3-game set. So who then is Patrick Mahomes' daddy?
Might be the Eagle. It might be the franchise.
Just the franchise? Yeah.
I would say, yeah. Could be the entire franchise. That's the bugaboo for him for some reason. Like, he doesn't like to see it,
Hey, and you can extend that to the previous Super Bowl where Jalen Hurts outplayed him. I mean, for my opinion, that should have been win number 4, but
100%. 100%.
I think some teams just have teams like us and the Buccaneers. They're our kryptonite, and they're coming up. But I mean, some teams struggle with other teams. Look how many times Buffalo has lost to Kansas City. It's just, and they're a good team, but for some reason, either it's matchups or whatever. But we match up pretty well against Kansas City, and I never would have said that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. We'll talk a lot of Tampa next week. It's going to be interesting to see, but. Defense obviously played way better week 2 than we saw in week 1. The second half of week 1 was solid, obviously. And then we talked about how just that whole long delay probably benefits defensive side of the football more than offense. So it's tough to really judge. But defense stood out. I mean, how about Andrew Makuba? I mean, that was the Andrew Makuba game. Open field tackles, massive interception, just making plays left and right. What a standout performance from the Texas rookie.
I don't know if we realize that the last 3 drafts, the first 2 picks in the last 3 drafts, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and Jahad Campbell, Andrew Makuba. I mean, is that insane? Those are all starters on your defense right now, and not just starters. That they're making plays. Like, I mean, you've. I got on Makuba a little bit because he missed an open field tackle on Mahomes, but that happens. It's his second game ever. But the plays he made absolutely made up for missing that one tackle. Jahad Campbell looks like he's shot out of a rocket. He was built in a lab. And the other guys I mentioned don't need any conversation, So it's to hit on the first 2 picks in 3 straight drafts like that. And I'm not just saying hits. I'm talking these are starters.
Smash.
Six out of your 11 starters were drafted. I think 10 of your 11 players on defense are on rookie contracts, if I'm not mistaken. That's insane. Except
That's
for
a smash, respectfully.
Yeah,
Zach
like
Bond.
9 or 11. Nine of the 11 are on rookie contracts, something like that. It's crazy.
No, nuts. And then how about Zadarius Smith?
What an insane pickup and plug in, and just didn't lose a step. Like he just meshed right in as he's been here the entire season. Last season, it worked so well. It was insane. Because my wife, we were watching the game, and it's like, who the hell is Smith? I'm like, we just got him. He's already killed.
We said, who's 52? We were like,
52.
he's number 52.
No, and then one of the commenters screwed up and said Jalen Smith, and I was like, who the hell is Jalen Smith? I was like, I know we picked up Zadarius Smith. Like, did we pick up another Smith edge? I was so confused for a hot minute.
Just another Jalen too. I think they just throw Jalen anytime they don't know.
Yeah.
They're like, that's probably it.
Oh, 100%. But
And,
it's
only
just as much a credit to Vic too. I mean, you get a guy in here, and I mean, obviously most of the credit goes to Darius Smith. I mean, the guy came in here still in top tier physical shape, went out there and did his damn thing. But for Vic to be able to get this guy and just plug him right into the system, have no kind of confusion. It just, again, shows just the level of defense that he's running over here. And it's just another smear on any team that he's left that has been like, oh, Vic Fangio, like the Dolphins. Darius Smith just took a shit on the Dolphins, essentially, is what I got out of that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But Andrew Makuba, hell of a game, really made some massive plays. I mean, Travis Brick Hands Kelsey out there just doing the thing for his Eagle fan fiance, just helping us out. Appreciate that there, Trav, especially when he was out there just flapping his gums most of the game. Love to see that. Here's my question for you guys. Jason Kelsey, happy or sad about that interception?
Happy if you heard him on the podcast.
Yeah.
On his podcast. Yeah. He was kind of like, Trav, that's what happens.
No, I'm just ribbing him a little bit after that whole fiasco with the Super Bowl and him on the podcast and him deleting his congratulatory tweet and shit. It was wild.
Yeah.
No, what a game from the rookie. What a game from most of the defensive players. Really went out there and held their running game next to nothing. I mean, Mahomes was by far the most effective rusher. But he was a complete liability passing the ball. I mean, we had a couple of blown coverages where they had just moonwalk in touchdowns, and he didn't throw it in the same zip code as them. And like, look, for what it's worth, the Eagles could have had some more drives. I mean, AJ Brown was tackled when the ball was 6 feet from him, like falling right into his lap.
I was wondering.
Was tackled.
Are you talking about on the left? Are you talking about on the left sideline where Jalen just threw it up to him and AJ was waiting for it?
And he stood there waiting for it, and the defender never turned around and tackled him when the ball is approaching just the LZ, the landing zone of AJ Brown's hands. Tackles him, and they're like, nah.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, nothing. Devontae Smith, they're mugging him a little bit before the ball gets there. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, it's like, if you really want to talk about, everybody's talking about the whole no flag on the tush push and everything. And like, look, Chris, you said it perfectly. Like, you want to get mad at the refs. Like, officiate it better.
Yeah, the 100%, because like any other play happens. How many crucial, controversial pass interference plays have there been? It's like, no, ban that throw because you guys missed a call. Like, it's so dumb that we're getting blame as a team for something that they're missing, right? Yeah. It's their job. Make the damn call or don't. But call it fair on both sides of the ball, because they're also lining up offsides. They're also leaving a little bit early. We saw videos of that. I tweeted them all.
Yeah, so technically by the rule, by the way the rule's written, when we false started, we actually caught a neutral zone infraction. We actually caught forced in offsides. If you want to be honest about it, his helmet was lined up in the neutral zone. If any of our offensive linemen move, that's a penalty on the defense.
Correct.
So like, yeah, we jumped early, but if you want to be like, oh, enforce the rule, enforce the rule, enforce the rule, his helmet's sitting past the ball. As soon as we move, plays dead, neutral zone infraction, or offsides, whatever you want to call it, on the defense, half the distance to the goal, repeat, whatever. And if we want to really be picking here, how the hell after that challenge was that not ruled a touchdown?
Oh my God.
Still baffled by that.
That's like, remember when the ref was caught on the hot mic or something saying like, I couldn't tell if it was the footballer Lamar Jackson's arm. And so then he wore like a white shooter sleeve just to be like, yeah, I'm black.
There you go.
Like, you can tell, like, what were they seeing? Do you see the ball? You can see his entire body.
Yeah.
Entire body off the ground. Ball in the end zone. Inconclusive.
So I was down the beach. We're watching the game with the family, and my daughter's we celebrate because I think it's a touchdown. And then my daughter's like, "What's happening?" Because like it, they're challenging it, whatever. So I'm explaining it, and they show the slow mo. I'm like, look, honey, like there's his leg. Nothing's touching the ground. There's the ball. It's crossing the plane. It's like, this should be a touchdown. And then like as I'm saying that, they're like overruled. Like, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like how I could see. I'm pointing it out to a 4-year-old, but these guys who are paid to figure that hard shit out can't figure that hard shit out.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
I thought they showed the replay like, oh, maybe Nick's gonna want to challenge this. In my head, I was like, yeah, but like there's a thought process behind letting the clock run another 10 seconds. You're gonna get 3 inches on the next play, like. And then he threw the challenge. I was like, you know what? Probably the smart move. You never know what could happen. False start, bad snap, whatever. Take the guarantee. It's obviously a touchdown. Everybody has eyes. I mean, I'm pretty sure my blind neighbor saw it. Like, he could have read it in Braille that it was a touchdown. Like, and so I was like, you know what? All right, Nick, smart play. And, just quarterback factory in Philadelphia, airmail on that challenge flag. You want to talk about passes thrown across the line of scrimmage. I mean, Nick Sirianni is still an Eagles player. The Eagles are throwing the ball more than 30 yards past the line of scrimmage more often than you think, because there's point in evidence right there. But just them to call that inconclusive was just like, you just chuckled because you knew we were going to get it. So it's just like, really, like, you are trying so hard right now.
Well, one of the reasons why I think you always want to challenge in that situation, especially a goal to go, there is a play that sticks out in my mind until the end of time, and it's the Super Bowl against the Chiefs that we lost. We had a 3rd and inches play in the first quarter.
Don't say
it.
I'm already triggered.
We push for a first down. False start, Sayamalu on the play. So it's now 3rd and 5. On that play, Jalen Hurts fumbles. They scoop score, pick it up for a touchdown. Yep. So I think what Sirianni is thinking, like, look, you're a false start away from now 4th and goal on the 6, and then they bring the house or you get a holding. Like, there's just so many things that are going to happen, especially on the road. Take it when you can get it. And I'm sure he saw the same replay we did and was like, yeah, I'm not tossing this flag either. I'm rifling that thing so you can see it. It's just that part was funny to me because I'm always like, I want it now. I want it on 2nd down or I want it on 3rd down. I don't want to wait.
No, smart play. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, look, we're 2-0. The officiating, I thought, was a little suspect. Everybody's going to say, oh, the officials bailed out the Eagles because of that stupid tush-push thing. But they had a couple pretty big 3rd down stops that they're just like, oh, penalty.
At the end of the game, too.
The roughing the passer.
Yep.
Yeah. My gosh.
Bailed them out big time.
That would have been what, 4th and 15 or something?
Yeah. Yeah. It was the end of the drive. That was it. And they get a first down. And I think they scored on that drive.
Yeah, that was when they scored the long bomb touchdown. Yeah. But you know what, guys? We've been on this podcast for the longest time and had to always hear about what does Sirianni do? Sirianni doesn't call plays. He doesn't do anything. What does he even do? He's not even a good coach. What does he even do? At the end of the game, there was a duel of coaching mentality between Andy Reid and Nick Sirianni. Andy Reid, God bless him, always talked about as one of the top coaches probably of all time, right? Belichick, Andy Reid, you hear about this stuff. Definitely today, Andy Reid's the best coach in the game, right? Andy Reid intentionally does an encroachment penalty. The guy just walks up, crosses Cam, touches him, touches Jalen, 5-yard penalty at 2:13. So 13 seconds before the 2-minute warning. So the clock would stop on a defensive penalty. And Sirianni on 2nd and 1 goes, we're declining that.
Yeah.
That, guys, is so next level. And yes, I had a couple beers in me when I was watching the game. I was like, Why are we declining? And before I could finish saying, I was like, oh, shit. That is so smart. Because now after this next play, it runs down to the 2-minute warning. So at a minute 59, you have a first down, as opposed to 2:13, you have a first down, and they get a free timeout with the 2-minute warning. How intelligent was that?
I mean,
Flick move.
I'm going to be honest. As soon as they did the encroachment, I immediately said, "I'll decline that shit." First time game over. So, I mean, I am pretty intelligent, but I have my finger on the pulse of that one there. I know. Philly Dogs is on it too.
I get it from both sides. Right? Like it's very.
It was a very smart play by Andy Reid, because if you don't stop them here, game's over no matter what. You take 3 kneels, game's done. You get 40 seconds per play. 40 times 3, 120. 120 divided by 2, 60. A minute is 60 seconds times 2 minutes. Math checks out. I mean, I'm connecting the lines like I'm damn, just figuring it out. Boom, bam, bop, bada, bop, boom, win. And he tried, and he failed. But for everybody that took Birds minus 4.5, like myself, tough loss. But big dub. Today's episode is brought to you by White Glove Car Wash. Family owned and operated for over 40 years, White Glove's always focused on giving you the best wash possible. With a satisfaction guarantee, you know that when you leave the White Glove Car Wash, you're leaving with a car that is spick and span squeaky clean. They are now offering unlimited car wash packages, which means you can go daily if you would like, to make sure that your car is always the prettiest car in the lot. White Glove Car Wash, locations in Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. You're never too far. Just ask your smartphone, take me to White Glove Car Wash, and be prepared to get the best service you've ever seen. Interiors, exteriors, undercarriage, all done to your utmost satisfaction. Head on over to White Glove Car Wash and let them know that Talking 215 sent you.
Hey, Jakey, do you want to touch on your boy, Braden Mann, by the way?
Braden Mann is the best punter to live.
He's so good, dude. He's so good.
He's really
I
good.
am praying Aaron Sippis's brother still listens to the pod. Because, dude, your brother sucked. Braden Mann is so good at punting. It is insane. The way that he can still hit boomers, but also get so much hang time that he's kicking a 70-yard punt and our guy's waiting for him to catch the ball is so incredibly impressive.
Yeah, somebody put it on Twitter that he punted from where his foot was our own 15, something like that, right? By the time he kicked it, and it landed at the opponent's 9 by the time they fair caught it, something like that. And you didn't think about it at the time because you're hiking from the whatever yard line by the time this launch snapped. But somebody posted, and I was like, oh my God.
And he had a touchback where it landed in the end zone where he kicked it from our 18.
Yeah, no, he put a little bit too much into that.
We're just I was I ain't even mad. Holy cat, what a leg. Golly, we had stinking Legatron last year, and Ty Zettner. They called him Legatron. He sucked. And now we got Braden Mann in here just doing the damn thing. Shout out special teams. Shout out also.
Special teams as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, Odd Year Elliott.
That's true. That is true.
That's all you. That's all. I mean, you got to
in it for years.
You got to take credit for that one, Jake. You were all over that.
Been saying it for years. Odd Year Elliott doesn't miss. He's 3 for 3 from 50-plus yard field goals, and they all would have been good from, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably being a little conservative here, but maybe 85.
I'm trying to think if you ever figured it out, Jake, if Odd Year Elliott was the same as Odd Year Nola, or if that was
even year Nola, Odd
Nola.
Year Elliott is, okay. But last year Nola sucked, so it's tough.
Yeah.
But he did well in playoffs. But no, yeah, it's even year Nola, Odd Year Elliott, and it's just fun to see. But right now, it's just I'm riding the Odd Year Elliott. You don't take Jake Elliott in fantasy because the Eagles are one of the most aggressive teams when it comes to fourth downs and everything. But if you're trying to guess on Pro Bowl, take futures or whatever, it's a lock. It's a Talking 215 money printer of the year.
Might be hard to beat Brandon Aubrey, I believe.
Yeah, I mean Brandon Aubrey's the best kicker in the league.
That dude hits 60 plus like it's not like just chip shots.
Yeah.
60 yarders.
He's yawning while he's kicking the ball.
I wanted to ask you guys too, if while you were watching the game, Eagles Chiefs obviously on Sunday, did you not look up at your screen when we were on defense and you were like, is that another blitz? Is that another blitz? Vic, wait, did we blitz again? Is that a corner? Is that a line? Is that a safety blitzing?
Yeah, my door. Yeah.
And I was dumbfounded. And then thinking about it, as I sobered up and talked about the game and rewatched it, I said to myself, how genius is it of Vic Fangio that the entire time the Chiefs are trying to play us again, they heard, we didn't blitz once, we didn't blitz once. We dropped 7 in coverage. We dropped 8 in coverage. You're probably thinking the Chiefs are preparing their pass concepts based on a drop coverage, based on a 3-man rush. And then Vic says, no, I'm bringing the house now. Like, that's chess again. We just talked about Sirianni. I think that's chess too.
Well, it's also because they didn't have any of their receivers too.
That's a great point, Doc. That's a really good point.
I don't know who they were throwing to, but they, But yeah, but I think you can have that luxury when you're a little bit down on the. But yeah, it is brilliant because no blitz in the Super Bowl, and then I don't know how many times they blitzed, but it was impressive. I mean, and the other thing that's impressive as far as Fangio goes is how many yards rushing did Mahomes get in the second half? It's like, oh, you want to run? You're not going to run anymore, And he, I think, is the best defensive coordinator I've seen for in-game adjustments. First half, second half. It's like different game. I mean, he is.
Big sign of intelligence.
It's impressive. Even like Jim Johnson level impressive, what he's been doing with adjustments.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because I've thought that too, Doc, is like, like even in the Super Bowl with Gannon and all that, we always said like, make adjustments, make it, and you don't. But you see that in Fangio, it is some players have come out and said like, that's a myth. Like we don't, there's no such thing as adjustments, and they say it's a myth. And I completely disagree. And I know, how can I disagree with like a player, right? It's kind of a tough argument, right? They know a little bit better than I. But I got to believe that Vic definitely made that adjustment because I think we all probably said it in the first half was put a spy,
Yeah.
stop Mahomes from doing this shit. And what happened in the second half, to Doc's point, right? Yeah, I mean, I believe in that shit and definitely seeing Fangio doing it.
I think the adjustment was blitzing, right? Like instead of playing a spy, make Mahomes drop his eyes real quick. And then by the time he's trying to scramble, you're not scrambling through lanes with only 3 or 4 rushers. Now you got 5 or 6, and it's a little bit more crowded. So to Doc's point too, you're not worried about some of those receivers, beating your secondary one-on-one. And I'll give you guys a perfect example of adjustments that we witnessed. In Gannon in the Super Bowl, what did we say was the biggest issue? The receivers going in motion, right? Nobody following. The receivers running jet motion. Now we're confused. Everybody was open when there was jet motion. Did you guys see Cooper DeJean and Zach Bond when Hollywood Brown went in motion and they said hike?
Yeah.
I thought it was WWE. Like Cooper destroys it, which I believe is smart, right? Coop, you're 210 pounds. Hollywood Brown's probably 160. If he's going to come in motion and you're in the slot and you can press him, boom. And then Zach Bond on the running back, same thing. And I was like, this is what Eagles fans were looking for from Jonathan Gannon in the Super Bowl. And for such a young secondary, guys, it's so cool to see them know what to do on motions, know what to do on, Z-spot, know what to do on shifts. They're just all aligned. It's so cool to see that quote unquote adjustment.
Yeah. No, it was really impressive to see him out there doing everything. And really, last thing before we start transitioning over to the preview for week 3, shout out to year 2 of the Hurt Locker. Clint Hurt saying, Jordan Davis, you got to be a different man. We picked you with a top 20 pick. You got to go out there and do something. I mean, Clint Hurt has got the Hurt Locker going. I mean, obviously Jalen Carter, not the best game that we were expecting to see week 1 and all, but nobody's worried about Jalen Carter or anything. But the transition we've seen from Jordan Davis to, we would be like, man, you know what? Maybe we figured it out. Maybe you play him 15, 18 snaps a game, but he gives it everything he has in those 18 snaps, and you kind of pick and choose. And he's like, no, drop 30 pounds. You're playing 60 snaps a game, fat ass. And he's out there just mauling people, getting his hands on the pass, clogging up lanes, stuffing the run. I mean, just impressive to see. Also, we're talking about Jalen Carter not having a great game. Jalen Carter, after week 1, he felt the hurt locker. Clint Hurt probably absolutely destroyed that man for the next 10 days of practice.
And Vic as well, probably.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, we're going to a different sport. My man was Herb Brooks on the USA team again. Just, yeah. That was my last thought before I wanted to transition over to Birds Rams. Anybody else? Anything else? Any pressing matters?
But I love to see the JD glow up. Absolutely fucking love to see it. Obviously, being pretty biased towards the Philly Dogs, but I love to see it for him. I don't love to see it for our checkbook as an organization, because the better he plays, the more money he may garner. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I'm really excited for Jordan Davis.
Now, week 3, is anybody more excited for this matchup than Saquon Barkley? I mean, I don't think anybody needs a matchup against the Rams more than Saquon Barkley. He's been fine. He's been good.
Yeah. What does he average? 240 against them?
He's been pretty good. Yeah, he
9 yards
averages over 200 yards as a Philadelphia Eagle against the Los Angeles Rams.
Jesus Christ.
Nobody needs this week more than Saquon Barkley, because he's not satisfied. He knows that. And I just left wing night. Every Thursday night's wing night for me. I just left wing night, and I wasn't eating them like Saquon Barkley, because I took all the meat off the bone. He knows he's leaving a little bit of meat on that bone, and he's not happy about that. He likes just picking them things clean, and this is the perfect matchup. I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe that Rams have wings, in the wild.
They do not.
But he's taking the meat off of that bone. He's taking some ram chops, ram T-bone, ram rib.
Going deep with this analogy.
It's going to be meatless bones on Sunday. That's all I'm saying.
I just gotta ask: did you actually think that they had wings, or?
No. I was 98% positive that they do not have wings.
I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I know the human anatomy, but rams, you never know. Are rams real? Are they a mythical creature?
They're on the highway all the time.
Did you just ask that question as well?
I did not. No, but it's Doc, you were saying pregame it was a game you're worried about.
I just worry about the revenge factor. They're good against the pass, and people are going to be mad if we don't.
Good news, we suck passing the ball right now.
Exactly.
What they're good at, we suck at. So great. We don't got to worry about shit.
Well, there you go. No, I just think they're a team that they're going to I feel like if we get a good game out of their QB, we're going to be in trouble. And it could expose our QB2 this time, because they've got 2 very, very good receivers. So, yeah. I mean, they're our CB2. They've got very, very good receivers. And I think he got away with one last week. I mean, he played well last week, but look who he was guarding. I mean, I think this is a different animal, and we could easily get exposed for that. And that's what worries me.
Here's my question, though, Doc, and this is more on the medical side. Matt Stafford riddled with injuries the last couple of years. I mean, there was a lot of talks. I mean, there was obviously no real merit behind it, but in the offseason, I heard a handful of people being like, oh, Matt Stafford might retire. I mean, this back injury is serious. And obviously he didn't. And obviously he's playing pretty well. But is there anything to an injury of that significance where people are like high up people are speculating that he may hang it up, to where even if we're not getting home, but we're getting him off his spot, making him do these quick turns, run around. He's obviously going to have a little bit less step when he's running. He's no threat with his legs whatsoever. But is there anything to, even if we don't get home, if we get a decent pass rush, Darius Smith continues to build on the already legacy he's building here in Philadelphia. Nolan Smith continues to go. We send Andrew Makuba like we were sending him last week. Yeah. Zach Baun gets the first one of the season. Jalen Carter says, you know what? This is my game. Jordan Davis continues to feast. Anything medical to say that might play in our favor a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, he's got a very, very quick release. But if you hit him, I mean, it's like, you have this nagging injury. And if someone like pokes you in that spot, you're going to be like, ooh, this is not fun. And the more you get hit, the more you land. Even if you, like you said, even if you don't sack him, but you hurry him, you push him to the ground. Every time you do that, he's going to feel it. And at his age, and he's much younger than I am, but at his age, he's going to be feeling these falls. And these things, it's harder and harder to get. I mean, look at Flacco. I feel bad for the guy out there. I mean, he is like a sitting duck out there. And I'm like, Stafford's probably not that far behind him. I mean, he's like I said, he relies on good receivers, quick release, all that. But if you find a way to hit him, even not necessarily sack him, he's going to start feeling it. And those hits are going to add up pretty quickly.
Greater quarterback of all time, Joe Flacco, Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
It's a tough debate.
Stafford, probably.
Yeah.
You think Stafford's better than Delaware Flacco?
Yeah.
Joey Flacco is pretty damn good. I don't know. But when we're talking about him getting the ball out quickly and us getting some kind of pass rush on him, I mean, look, you get him to a point where he feels like he cannot step back, set his feet. He feels like, even again, if we're not getting home, but we're getting damn close. You never know. He rushes that pass. Vic, we've been talking this whole episode about how great Vic is at adjustments, about scheme, about game plan. If he realizes, hey, Stafford's getting the ball out under 2 seconds every time. Like, he is scared to step back, scared to set his feet. They're doing these quick hitters. If there's anybody I'm confident in to be able to just fake him into thinking, oh, this is where I can go with it. This is a safe area for a quick release. And we just jump the route. We do something to make that just his biggest mistake of the game. I feel very confident in Vic Fangio's ability to say, all right, I'm going to pick up on what they're doing. He's getting it out quick every single time. All right, bet. Do it again.
Yeah. I think he's going to be prepared for stuff like that. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Rams have a couple offensive linemen that are dinged up and or on the did not practice report this week. If that's true, an okay line will be pretty decimated by losing 2 starters there. If that's the case, yeah, to your point, Jake, I'm sure Vic is going to have something to where, like, if Stafford's main goal was to get the ball out quickly, you're going to apply a ton of pressure. But again, to Doc's point, I'm so worried about which one of those receivers Adoree is going to be on. Between Puka and Devontae Adams, I mean, I'm going to be honest, that's a tough matchup for Q too, even though I trust him. That's a tough matchup for any young corner with Puka and Devontae. But, man, I don't know what we're going to do with that CB2 spot all year. This game could really tell us if we need to kind of make a big move for that, or the rest of the defense is enough to make up for that deficiency.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the Rams offensive line, but they did have 2 offensive linemen that did not practice today. Steve Avila, don't know if he's a starter or not, didn't practice with an ankle injury. And then Rob Havenstein, looks like it was just a rest thing. It says NIR rest. So I would imagine, you're going to see him go back out there. But, Coach, if those are 2 of their starters?
Both, yeah. Both are.
There you go. Well, yeah, the one didn't practice at all with and they're both tackles. So it's both of the big spots there when you're looking at the offensive line, because I'm not worried about Jalen Carter going up against any interior offensive lineman. But you give me a second tier offensive tackle, you let Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Zadarius Smith go out there and do a little work. Look out. Uche, more like ouchie for Matt Stafford.
I do think this is the Eagles' toughest game that they're going to see in this first part. You think so? I think the Rams right now, I know the history. I know the Buccaneers last year's against us. I think right now this Rams team's a little more dangerous.
I'm going to look it up now. I believe we were like 7-0 the last 7 games against the Rams.
I think we're McVay's 1-6 against the Eagles, something like that.
All right, well, maybe it's 6-1 then. All right, last 7 matchups, so we're 5-2. 5-2 against the Rams. I mean, we dominate the Rams. And there's a reason we call it Philadelphia West when we go out there, because LA is not a real sports town. We all know that. Fake sports town. We fill their stadium with 75% Eagles fans in LA. Now they're coming here where we just absolutely dominate. Well, no, it didn't absolutely dominate. I'm not going to be honest. Saquon dominated them. Decent game. Jalen Carter put it on ice, quite literally. and you gave us the opportunity to just shut them up again when you had all these guys bitching. You had Jared versus bitching. You get all this stuff. Like it's going to be a good game. I'm not all. You're going to hear our predictions here shortly. I'm not at all like week 1 where I'm predicting an 18-point win, but I think week 4 is a far bigger concern just because, like Doc said, they're our kryptonite, and for whatever reason, we only play them in Tampa. We never play them in Philadelphia.
Just like Kansas City.
Yeah.
Good point.
All right, players to watch on offense. Who you got? Chris, just take
Say it all
Just
three. Saquon.
Exactly. Chris takes Saquon. We all knew that was coming. Coach, who you got?
Yeah, AJ Brown. I think it's going to be a nice AJ Brown game at the link. He'll have a little bit of a breakout here.
Doc, you got any hot takes here?
There can be only one, but I'll say Jalen Hurts.
Fair.
I think Saquon runs, but you got to have a counterbalance. And I think it's going to be him.
So my options were taken 1, 2, 3, bang, 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 right off the board. But I'm the host. That's the life of being the host. It's a tough life. Somebody's got to live it. I'm gonna go just the tried and true. People always go, oh, you got to take a skill position. I want to talk about a guy that really has been an unsung hero here. About a guy that just everybody's was concerned heading into the season, and he's doing damn well because you haven't heard his name once. Give me Tyler Steen as offensive player of the game. Saquon Barkley on a number of those runs was running up which sideline? That's right, the right sideline. Tyler Steen, right guard, gonna just make holes for Saquon Barkley, not committing a single penalty. I'm gonna say 1.5 pancakes. They don't even do half pancakes. He's gonna get a half pancake, and he's gonna get the next shirt. He's getting the next shirt. I'll tell you that. Defense, I am gonna go first because I went last, and that's fair. That's only fair. It's a reverse snake draft here when it comes to defensive player of the game. And I'm not prepared. No, if those injuries are true, Nolan Smith has been a little bit too quiet to start the season. He hasn't been bad. He hasn't been great. He's been close so many times. I've seen him in week 1. He nearly had a huge strip sack against Dak. I mean, his hand was 3 inches from smacking that ball out when it was all the way back. Nolan Smith's going to have a welcome to the 2025 season game. Coach, who you got?
My pick was going to be Nolan Smith. I'm 100% on spot.
All right, Doc, who you got?
Well, I'm going to go with the man, Jalen Carter. I
There
think, hey, he's got something to prove. Hopefully whatever he was grabbing last week is okay, and he should be good to go.
Oh, yeah. Coach, back to you. Pick a new one.
Well, Doc took my guy, too. Let's go with Zach Bond in the middle there. Being able to be the guy that can tell whether Stafford's keeping it on a play action or doing a stretch play or watching how people go in zone left and right. He's going to have to be the captain of that defense, getting everybody ready. So I'll go Zach Bond.
There you go. Chris?
Well, 2 of my guys got taken. So I'll go with the other Philly dog, Jordan Davis. I think he just continues doing what he's doing.
Waiting for you to say Keely Ringo. I was going to shut us off right now.
Yeah. Please no questions at this time, Jake. I'm going to plead the 5th on that one. So, I'm going to take Jordan Davis. I think he just keeps doing what he's doing. And, I'll be honest, you guys took Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. So, want to go with him.
Any concern that none of us took a defensive back?
I was thinking about it. Before I landed on Jordan Davis, I was thinking like Q, maybe. I don't know. I would love to see Q get a pick here, and maybe he does. But
Reed's been known to have clutch 4th quarter picks. Maybe he breaks on.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see.
All right, Chris, score prediction.
24-17 Birds is what I got in my head. Like I said, I picked Saquon Barkley. I think he's going to run all over these guys. I did like that Doc said Jalen Hurts too. I think Patullo saying more designed runs are coming maybe that's this game. Maybe that's something that we explored here. So maybe it's Jalen beating them with his feet. I'll love it either way. But yeah, I got 24-17. I do think those wide receivers on that team are very, very good. So it worries me. Dory Jackson really worries me. So I'm just hoping for the best in that front. But yeah, I think they put 17 on us, 24-17.
Nice. Coach?
I'm going to go 23-21. I think the Rams will give us a scare with their receivers. And the 23-21 is they're going to go up 21-20. Jake Elliott's going to hit a 44-yarder for the game winner.
44, getting specific.
I am.
You know what? It's 44. They commit 3 straight penalties. He's a 59. Doc, what you got?
He stole my thunder on the last second field goal, but I was going to do 31-28. I think what also helps us is it's a 1 o'clock game. So I think we can get off to a fast start and before they, get rid of the jet lag, and then hopefully we just hold on at the end.
Love it. Love it. I'm going to go I'm kind of thinking the same mindset of Doc here, that it's going to be a pretty high scoring game. I'm going to trust that they're going to build off of their previous success against the Rams and try to just shut everybody up, shut all the talking heads up about this offense, about A.J. Brown, about everything. I'm going to go just a smidge higher because I like 2 field goals here by Elliott. I'm going 34-28 Birds. And the Rams do attempt a kick. Locked.
Ooh.
Field goal. Special teams continues to play a monster role here in Philadelphia with Braden Mann, Jake Elliott being the 2 of the best to do it in the NFL at the moment. Gentlemen, final thoughts. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Tush Push.
Yes, sir.